10 too soft.
Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. I don't think you got it, sir.
Deep river. Deep river.
They'll run on first down. It's Evans. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. 10 yards, good for a Saints first down. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and the third levels. You know, get to the linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. A first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Bring it. Bring it.
Ready?
Now this will be a jet sweep. Here's Thomas with it. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 12 yards there, good for a Saints first down.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
Here we go.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. From the gun, it's a run for Kamara. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A Saints first down there on a gain of 11. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
And they didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
Staying on the ground on first with Kamara. And he'll snag about 5 yards down to the 32.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Pilot, 64, reach. Get it.
They'll try the left side. Evans. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd and 7.
Let's go.
So 3rd down now. They need the 27-yard line for a first.
Time to go right now. 54 is must. 54.
Hey, wahoo.
54. Watch 54. Push him back.
Yo, go.
Mike 54. Mike 54.
Now.
Operating from the gun, Lawrence. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation. And there, the defense won the battle. Able to move the ball on that drive. Yes, just 3 points, but 4 first downs were in there.
Yeah, and you can look at it and feel pretty good about the whole thing and think, okay, this should continue throughout this ball game. On the flip side, if you're a defender, it's almost like, whew, we only gave up 3. They moved the ball on us pretty well.
And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. And he'll give it here to his running back. And this will be a pickup of 4 here, up to their own 20.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
At the 20-yard line.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Now a handoff here to his running back. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. From the gun, Mitchell. And he's taken down here by the Saints. Kamale Correa able to record his 5th sack of the season. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round.
I'm here all day. I'm here all day.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
Come on, set. 60 Pittsburgh. Hey, high 7.
Back home, yo. Let's make these babies cry all the way back home. '56, Mike, 56, right there, 56, go!
Operating from the gun, Lawrence into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35, and his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
Check. Switch.
On 1st down, Vaughn. Tackle is made by Cameron Jordan.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. So as they take it over, we step aside. Mitchell now on 3rd down. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Marcus Williams. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. But what do you think? You get the ball off the turnover near the middle of the field. You take a shot here on the first play?
You know I'm big on that. I love when I have great field position after a turnover like that. I might have a little bit off balance. I prefer to take a shot, but a lot of coaches will tell you You only do it if you trust the guy who's got the football in his hands. Meaning, if it's not there, he won't force it downfield and maybe turn it into an interception. He'll go to the check down, go to a second option, and go ahead and take the play that's in front of him.
They'll run on first down. It's Evans as he's got this down inside the 40 to the 39. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
50, plant.
Check. Hey, check 24. Watch 24. Deuce.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Kamara. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 12 yards there, good for a Saints first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. From 17 yards out. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Lutz good on the extra point. And the lead grows to 10-0. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown. So decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan? Or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Come on, D. Check 43. Shoot. Slam. Check 3. Joker.
Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
You better bring it. I'm letting you know right now. You better.
On 2nd down, a run with Breida. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
And it's 3rd down.
New Orleans adding some depth to the secondary. They've got 6 DBs out there now for 3rd. Mitchell operating from the gun. Man open, that's Deebo Samuel. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. The end result, 21 yards.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. throw is Mitchell. From the gun, he'll throw. Completes it to the tight end, Kittle. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
2nd and 9 now. He's going to float this over the middle, deep. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked up by Marshawn Lattimore. And he'll go down inside the 15 at his own 13-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown it in. Interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And that last touchdown drive they had very balanced. How key is that balance?
It's huge because most of the time when we talk about balance is run, pass, almost 50-50. But most of the times when you talk about offensive coaching.
And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall. They can put their back against it and know exactly where they are on the field so they don't end up in the end zone. Didn't do it on that play, but perilously close to the goal line.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Now a give, right side. It's Evans. And some room to run now. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. That one good for 33 and a first. I don't think that's what the defensive coordinator had in mind there. You got him pinned back inside the 5, and then you let him rip off that long run.
You're already anticipating the film session, aren't you?
There's going to be some anger.
Yeah, it's not going to be at the greatest hits, is it? Because they didn't hit anyone on that play. Supposed to have them pinned back deep. Instead, they leave a big crack, a gaping hole, and guess what? They're in bad position right now.
Johnson's got it complete. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. From the gun, Lawrence. Incomplete, and we're down to 8 seconds now. Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on fourth down. was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back.
Here we go.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. Set now to go for the third quarter. The Saints have the lead and set to receive the kick. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution, or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out.
65.
Now a handoff here to his running back. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
Now a handoff looking right. And an alley to run. Continuing to fight for more. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 15 for the Niners there and a first down. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. First and 10. On first down, here's Breida. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of 2 there. Second down. They run again with Breida. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So third and long. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Garoppolo looks to throw. Going for the deep ball. And that will be incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication. Doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
They do go for it. It's Garoppolo. Looking for Pettis, but that's intercepted. It's the linebacker, Alex Anzalone. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on second and 13.
Check three, check.
They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. And give him 6 yards here as he's stopped near the 35 at the 34.
60 Pittsburgh. Hey, Hayward.
Brings up 3rd and 7.
Jim. Tighten up.
Hey, Alpha. Let's go.
On 3rd down, Lawrence. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Getting the sack, the 227-pound linebacker, Quan Alexander.
Well, partner, we know they came out of the locker room down on the scoreboard, but I will guarantee you the defensive side of the ball got super emotional. They can come out and play with aggressiveness, with fury, because they don't have to be quite as precise, and it paid off for them on that play, didn't it?
Sure did. Excellent play, really setting the tone for this 3rd quarter. And call that an even 50 yards on the punt with 7 on the return. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10.
Everyone got 4 down. He's coming. Double up. He's coming. Double up. Check safety.
A little jet sweep to start the drive. And he's not even able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Now there's also a flag down, and it's in the area of holding. So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot, but they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. To throw, it's Garoppolo. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. Give him 22 yards, and that's also where they snapped it from, the 22.
1st down, 49ers.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on 1st down.
It's just me and you. Check. Lucky. Set.
21. 2.
Now they try the right side here. And a good pickup there. He gets about 6 up to midfield.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
That's gonna be a long day.
Now a handoff looking right. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. And they give this time to the tailback. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. And now the Saints are going to take a timeout on defense. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Still just the 3rd quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on 4th. Here we go on 4th down with Garoppolo. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Saints are going to get it back and in great shape.
Ready, set.
Mike's by 4.
Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Set. 10 logo.
54 Mike. Let's go, D. Big series right here.
Get ready.
A give to Kamara running right. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. Back now here live in New Orleans. It's the Saints. They'll be looking to expand their lead here. They've got the football as we start the fourth. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
54's Mike. 54's Mike. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. I know he ain't got it.
And the blitz does come. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Despite the lead here in the fourth, they're still taking shots.
Not content to sit on this lead at all. And to me, it raises the question of what's right in this game nowadays. Do you sit on the ball and run it because you have enough of a lead? Or do you try and extend it because you always feel like the other team can come back?
Extend it. Have some fun. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and the 49ers will take over deep in their own territory. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And you're still in this game. I mean, yeah, you haven't scored. Offense obviously has struggled, but you're only 2 scores down, so all hope not lost.
Not at all, because we're talking about the NFL, and teams can score fast in this league. Quick strikes, you're right back in it. You're exactly right. Keeping hope alive.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Second and 10. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. The Niners on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Operating from the gun, Mitchell. He's going to look deep down the field. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a 4th pick of the game. And now 4th down. Now San Francisco going to call their 2nd timeout. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
Mike 51, Mike 51. Let's go.
Here's Mitchell throwing on 4th down. And no, it's incomplete. The Niners go for it, but it doesn't work out. And now the football's going to go over, already being placed at the 15-yard line.
Let's go now. 18 Gator.
Come on, baby. Come on, let's go.
Get it.
On 1st down, Evans. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
Brings up 3rd and 1.
Here we go. 18 Gator. 22 top bomber. 22.
Now a give right side. It's Evans, and he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Evans, and he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. So the decision to go for it turns out to be a good one. They get a couple of yards, and as a result, the drive keeps moving. It's now 1st and goal. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal.
Coming this way, here we go.
Try to pound it in, Kamara. And he is in for the score. Touchdown, New Orleans. Alvin Kamara, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Lutz with the extra point. And that makes our score 17-0. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
That's good for 28 yards.
And the 49er first down.
Now Mitchell, operating from the gun. There's the Washington Husky. It's Dante Pettis. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 13 yards there and a Niner first.
If he's their best threat on offense, use your #1 cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch of the game. Big reason why they're down.
We got three. Three down.
On first down, Mitchell looking to complete it to Pettis, and he's got him. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. The Niners have the first down on a gain of 11. Mitchell now on first down. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. And now the Niners going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout. So that will leave them with no timeouts left. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how that affects things here in this 4th quarter. 2nd and long. That's to the right side, complete to Kittle. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. Mitchell from the gun, he'll throw. And able to haul it in is Kittle. And they move this all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. So he got free of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. Give him 3 on the gain there. 2nd and goal. What a game this defense continues to play, huh?
Yeah, they've been aggressive from the first snap, and they've controlled this ball game. But right now, if you're on the other side of the ball, you've got to match that aggressiveness. No points so far in this game. Moving the football, got to be that way to go against them and try and get some points on the board.
And I'm curious on the defensive side if they stay aggressive, because you know they want to pitch this shutout.
Yeah, they have to be aggressive, but they also have to be smart about it as well, because one mistake can turn into 6 points.
Rabbit. Watch twins. Begin.
They'll try to run with Breida. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. He needed 3. He got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard. On 4th down, Kyle Shanahan will send out the field goal unit. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. And his kick here is good. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3. So time definitely not in their favor. Down 2 scores, but they'll try the onside kick. And this one travels out of bounds. So unsuccessful there on the onside kick try.
Okay, ready?
Mike, 54's Mike. Check. Watch 54. I'm coming for you. You mine. Out.
They'll try the left side. It's Evans. And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end. So this one, a victory here for New Orleans. And it was their defense that led the way, allowing just 3 points, that lone field goal in the entire second half.
And remember the old adage, offense sells tickets. Defense does what?
Wins championships.
And in this game, maybe a championship wasn't won, but a game was by the defense, right? Held them to just a field goal. That's a heck of a job. I mean, when they went out there with that determination and a pretty good game plan, pretty good idea what they wanted to accomplish, just love the execution, love the tenacity, love the way they finished.
So for New Orleans, the win will move them to 7-2 now on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, for San Francisco, their season is on life support.